I want you and that young man to tie that knot. I'm gonna pray for you. And I want you to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because he helped Joshua fight the battle of Jericho. Yes.
It's the O.N.E.
He helped Daniel get out the lion's den. He helped Gilligan get off the island.
Let me get straight to the business. Yeah. Got them lions in the building. Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. Why you lying to the children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been to bed. Man, they know no contest. Yahuwah, he do the bless. We will not see you tomorrow. Cause you cannot go to thought. All the sons and all the daughters. Standing hard with big manodas. But my son, he made me Taurus. On that line, I'm still a Taurus. Karate kicking Chuck Norris, 4-5 on my waist. If he started, will not hesitate to get retarded. Oh lordy, he ain't got a PowerPoint, he farted. He's running to the hills like a Philistine. G-Hawk hitting Hamites with the guillotine. Situation turned up with the Ratchet team. JJ 7000 to the bait lead. Yeah, I know them haters gon' hate me, but he won't debate me. Pistol off safety. Respond, come wake me. If I don't get up, nigga shake me. If he don't show up, then he fake G. I touch down and make these nigga nuts hate me. Dear brother, ballin' and crawling all the way from H-Time. Let me get straight to the business. Man, them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Why you lying to them children? You gon' cry, you gon' get it. Me, I'm like a frog, nigga, ribbit. Of course, it's in the spirit. I just got the Porsche, she can steer it. Mito got the raw, Shaq and Willie. Lamborghini doors, you better not spill it. Mama's high, say I'm more than just a villain. Mama's cry, arms open wide for her children. Suicide, immortalized as the realest, yeah. Death by cop, black suicide. Let me get straight to the business. Got them lions in the building. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. Why you lying to them children? Yeah. RIGHTEOUS. Man, you know I've been there. Yeah. Man, they know they no contest. Yeah. Yahuwah, he do the bless. Wow, what's that? Why didn't take it over? Number one debate league, you heard me? When it's up, it's stuck. I'm stepping on everything, nigga. Metaphorically, of course.
Peace. That's the Mad Scientist. You know, you can check me out on my Facebook, Eric Trueheart. On my YouTube, Eric the Mad Scientist. On my TikTok, Eric the Mad Scientist. And on my Instagram, Trueheart30. Now, I'll be talking about dangerous leaders in our community. This section is going to be about, this conversation is going to be about more like cult leaders and stuff, right? We're going to break down what it means. They also got new words for it. They got rules for it. Just the same as you have like a serial killer, they have rules that determine this is a serial killer and this is a person that kills people. So we're going to break this stuff down. I'm going to go into the origin of the first ones that brought it into our people. And I'll show one modern person because, let's be for real, the people who are doing it now are just regurgitating a lot of the stuff that was brought to us by leaders before them. There's not too many people who's teaching new stuff. They're just regurgitating it and they're acting like they created it. All right, so let's get to it. All right. What is a cult? Refers to a social groups with unusual and extreme religious, spiritual, and philosophical beliefs and practices. Often cults center around the charismatic leader who demands extreme devotion and loyalty from members. Now we're gonna get into this stuff, right? Because that's why I put cult, religio, racial movement, new religion, and a sect. Going to break down why they don't really say cult no more. Why they try to change it, because it's a cult has become really a bad just a bad term when at first it wasn't. So now when people say cult, the first thing you're thinking of is Marilyn Manson and stuff like that. So that's what they gave that to and say, okay, since that's what the definition is most of the time is now, we're gonna have new names for certain ones that we feel like might don't be a cult, but kind of people kind of look at them, but they ain't doing the extreme cultist things. So we will get into that. But cult leader is a group. I mean, cults are a group. They have one leader. You know, they give all their devotion to him, their loyalty to him, their fatness to him. They even give up their family to him. So we're gonna break down what these cult leaders really are and why they are a virus to our community. Okay. First, we're gonna get into religio racial movement. Let me see why this thing man moves. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Religio racial movement. Okay, according to Dr. Judith Weisenfield, a professor of religion in Princeton University, the term religio racial describes movements in the early 20th century whose members believed that understanding black people's true racial history and identity revealed their correct and divinely ordained religious orientation. So, what they're talking about and what I'm gonna be talking about, a lot of these groups that came out, because if you see that a lot of these people that's regurgitated, there's a lot of these groups that came out in the 20s, right? From the 1900s to like the 1930s. A lot of these groups came out. So what this religio racial is describing is a people who put race and religion together. Who's saying you can't have one without the other? Who's saying the only way you can determine these people if you put these race of people towards it. You see what I'm saying? And you combine them together. And a lot of people are doing that to this day. Maybe like Nation of Islam or uh, um, what we call Camp Israelite stuff like that. That put only black people are Israelites type of thing. Stuff like that. So this is what the new name that they're trying to call it, because cult name has been so negative that now a person just uses cult. They put a bad negative name on these people, and these people might don't do what you would call culture stuff, meaning touching, um, um, the other extreme stuff that a lot of these other people did is in prison right now. So that's why I said that they breaking out the differences, because when you use this cult language, they can use this against any movement and say they just a cult and put a bad name on it. Same way they did with the Black Panthers back in the day when they called them terrorists. And once you call a person a name that people do not like and look down upon, you could do anything to these people. All right. So you see her credentials: studies of African American studies, gender sexuality studies, and also executive committee of the program of American Studies. So this is the person who coined this name, religio racial movement. Okay. In her book New World of Coming: Black Religion and Racial Identity During the Great Migration, Weisenfield focused on the following groups as example of religio racial movements: the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Nation of Islam, Father Divine's Peace Mission Movement, Ethiopian Hebrew congregations. These groups are characterized by the way they use religious resources to redefine and reformulate racial identity, often rejecting the labels of Negro or African American in favor of alternative identities like Moorish American, Ethiopian Hebrew, or simply human. They believe that these new identities were essential to their religious and racial understanding of themselves and their communities. So again, this is her book, New World coming just in case y'all want to check out her book, and she breaking down why she coined this name religio racial movement, talking about the different groups, and a lot of these groups came in, like I said, the 1920s, 1930s, 1900s. Okay, so that way you can get more of an understanding of why she said these things. Okay, then we have the new religious movement. This term, new religious movement, was coined by scholars of religion like Elaine Baker and Gordon Milton in the late 20th century as an alternative to the terms cult and sect, which had become pejorative. They sought a more neutral and objective way to analyze these emerging religious groups. Because in a certain time, what they're saying is, again, like I was saying, they start using cults and sect in a certain way to just down anybody who wasn't teaching the norm. Because we gonna break down what a sect is too, but the cults they use these words specifically for people who was coming out with new teachings and saying that it's a cult. And that's what a lot of people do to this day. They see a group of people and they're not teaching in a Christian form way or a Muslim form of way, and they have a leader that's teaching it, they will automatically say it's a cult. Now, do some of them turn into cults, or some of them have been cults that's just undercover? Of course, you see what I'm saying. So that's why I'm getting to the definitions of what they are, and then we will get into the symptoms of what makes this cult leader a cult leader, not just to regular people, but to law enforcement, to other religious organizations. Okay, so Elaine Baker and Jordan Milton, they are the people who coined this new religious movement. The only reason I want to say that because they said a lot of scholars are not using the cult like they used to. They're trying to use other names because how negative the cult has been. Because cult back in the day in like the Greeks time was just like more like secret societies, things like that. So I mean, even though it's things that some of us still look at as like, you know, taboo and kind of crazy, but all right, now let's go to a sect. A sect is a group with distinctive religious, political, and philosophical beliefs. Although in the past it was mostly used to refer to a religious group, it has since expanded and in modern culture can refer to an organization that breaks away from a larger one to follow a different set of rules and principles. So a sect is a little bit different to call. Like a cult, right? It could be a people who's not teaching or not connected to a normal organization. Let's say like the nation, the Nawapians, something like that. That's not basically a group that's connected to no other big entity. A sect is more like this person is a Christian, but he's not teaching the modern or the regular Christian way. I was talking about one preacher who taught that Jesus was, I mean, that the God was a Negro, was one of the first people in, like, I think the 1900s, and his group would have been a part of a sect to these people because they said, okay, he's a preacher, he represents this religion, but he's not teaching the way this religion teaches. So that's what a sect is. A sect is a part of a bigger group, but it's not teaching what the group teaches. So it kind of branches off, but it's still a part of it. That's what the sect is, other than a cult. A cult is not really connected, don't have to be connected to any religious big organization. Okay. A cult leader is a charismatic and controlling head of a group, often a religion, quasi-religious organization that exhibits extreme devotion to a person or a set of beliefs. These leaders often use manipulative and cohesive tactics to control their followers, who are often isolated from the outside world. They frequently represent themselves as having unique insights or special powers and demand unquestioning obedience from their followers. Okay, So we starting to get it with a cult leader. Now, charismatic, that doesn't really. There's a lot of leaders. I think for you to be a leader, you have to be charismatic. Okay, but when it started getting to the controlling, when it started getting to the manipulating, you see what I'm saying, and doing tactics to where you're telling these people, "Oh, I came from outer space. I'm the angel Michael," or I'm God. I created the universe. I'm back. I came down to earth to talk to you. You know, when you start doing, when they start doing this stuff, this is when it's becoming to where they're becoming a cult leader because their psychology is off. They have a mental issue. That's where the mental issue comes in. Okay, it's called the God. I call it the God complex. That's what they call it. And they try to make the followers believe this. The followers are a lot of times people who's looking for um, um who's down, who has low self esteem, and they're looking for this type of person. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of them grew up in maybe in religious where they was always told that somebody's coming to save them, something like that. Now they see a man that's saying he's that person or he is coming to save them, and you know, and they start believing it. But these people are just cons. These people they don't want your faith from you. They don't want your loyalty. They want your money. They want your mind. They want your body. They want to destroy you. You see what I'm saying? They don't care nothing about you. So, I mean, anybody that's into this or any of these, or anybody into this, please talk to them, get them to understand, break these things to them. Maybe you can get them out because, it's damn near like hypnotizing when you're dealing with these people. You see that this thing is it's 2025 and it's still going on. We're talking about this thing was created that they didn't really know of in the 1900s. So this thing been going on for a long, 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 long time. You know what I'm saying? And it's still, and people are still falling for this stuff. And it's getting worse now because you have social media. You don't have just a person that just going around talking and getting a crew. They damn near got followers that they ain't even never seen before. That looks at them as a cult leader. Okay, dangerous cult leaders. Joe Navarro, psychology today. Psychology today. MA is a 25-year-old veteran of the FBI, where he served on the National Security Division of Elite Behavioral Analyst Program for 5 decades. He has been studying, researching, and teaching on the use of nonverbal communication and human behavior for assessing, interacting with others. Navarro brings together his academic background, decades of observation, scientific research, and practical experience catching spies to the art of science, observing, and interrupting human. I can't see the bottom part. But this is like the FBI guy, he's a veteran, so he dealt with cult leaders, and he's going to break down a couple. It's about 50. It was about 50, but I broke down like the 10 most. But he brought down like 50 lists of how you can, the symptoms of what a cult leader is. So that's why I went to him. He dealt with a lot of these big cult leaders and observed them, and they do a lot of analytics and stuff like that, comparing them together, what's similar to them, how they control people, their characteristics, their psychology. They put all that together and determine who is a cult leader. Because, like I said before, this is how they do when you come to people like serial killers. They determine this person is a serial killer and this person is a person just kill people because they got rules that they set in place and said, okay, this would make you a serial killer. This would make you a killer. To most people that don't really study that, they would say, well, why both of them? Both of them do the same thing, but it's the way they do it. Okay, it's the way. Like that's why I had a show called Serial Killers where I'm showing that a lot of them may kill a woman because it reminds her of their mother, or the trauma that they have as a kid that turns them into this attacking a certain brand of people. Whereas a person in the streets is killing because of heartache and revenge, because somebody might have hurt their people. Now they want to hurt their people. So all right. This is the 10. I hope I can read. I don't know if I can read the bottom part. I don't know what it's 10 so big. All right, but he has a grandiose idea of who he is and what he can achieve. Is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, or brilliance. The man's blind, unquestioned obedience requires excessive admiration from followers and outsiders. Has a sense of entitlement, expecting to be treated as a special at all times. Exploiting exploits others by asking for their money and that of relatives, putting others at financial risk. Is arrogant and haughty in his behavior or attitude. Has an exaggerated sense of power and entitlement that allows him to bend rules and break laws. Take sexual advantage of members of a sect or cult. Sex is a required of adults and sub-adults as part of a ritual. Okay, and when you study cults, right? When you study the cult leaders, they don't start at a they don't start at just trying to teach you stuff. They started at giving you this knowledge, making you believe that they're this type of special person. Then when you fall for it, he get it, and he gets you in enough. They start asking for things like money. They start asking for that you stay away from your family. They start telling you to don't question them. Then they start going to the real harsh extreme stuff like trying to take your daughter, trying to take your wife from you, impregnating your wife. Telling you that I should be able to have any woman in here. You see what I'm saying? That's what they start doing. Um, so you got to be aware of these people. And trust me, a lot of people is dealing with this. A lot of people, because I was in a group and I wasn't in a group. I was trying to go to a group, and I remember it was Ashley BK. I mean, I'm gonna say the name. We were talking, and he had said something about the chart, and I was like, look, you saying Cuba is such and such, but it's three different type of people. Cuba, you had people that came out the boat, you had the indigenous people, and you got the Spaniards that's over there. So who are you saying is who? Oh, don't question me. We got the truth since 1965. We don't need nothing. We have the truth. And that made me leave because I'm not gonna be in no group that's telling me they have the truth and I have no right to question it. That's why I love church. That's why I never really joined the groups, because all groups I've been in was like that. They if they not fully cult, they semi cultish. You know. Okay. Dangerous leaders often exhibit a combination of personality traits that allows them to manipulate and control their followers. These traits often described as dark trad, include narcissism, an inflated sense of self-importance, or constant need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. They believe they are special and unique, often viewing themselves as deities or chosen representatives of a deity. They struggle to handle criticism and may react with rage when feeling publicly embarrassed or failing. So the narcissism is one of the main things, because they start believing that they are not human. They start believing that they are a deity. They want you to praise them as a deity. And when you don't, they get angry. They start lashing out at you. And we still see it to this day. I've seen it. I still see it. I even see people that ain't got a cult with them, ain't got that ain't got a group with them, and still have this type of mentality. Okay, Machiavellianism, a manipulative and cunning interpersonal style and disregard for morality and focus on self-interest and personal gain. They are strategic thinkers, skilled at manipulation and deceit, often seeing others as tools to achieve their goals. They are willing to exploit others and may disregard ethical concerns. Okay, so again, the Nazism and Machiavellianism, okay, all work together, and they start losing morality. They start being selfish, not really caring about what they're doing to you. Okay, because these are the things that's happening. All right, psychopathy, impulsivity, a lack of empathy, and callous regard for others' feeling and well-being. They may make ruthless decisions and show little remorse for harming others. They might be charming and confident on the surface, but their underlying lack of empathy makes them capable of inflicting significant emotion and psychological damage. Again, because they start when they have these are real mental effects. This damn near close to a serial killer. I mean, they damn near close to a psychopath. You know, they're narcissistic, they're selfish, they're manipulative, they're alive. They have to get what they want. They don't feel sorry for what they're doing because they think they are meant to do this. They think they're born to do this. They think that they were put on this earth to do this. Okay, how can you tell a person they're wrong for something that they feel that they was meant to be? Okay. All right, so we're getting to one of the oldest, what you would call basically what they would call a cult leader. Okay, so I just putting these out there because I want you to see these groups, and you to determine do they fit in these things, right? This is Father Divine. I don't know if anybody ever heard of this person. This is Father Divine. He is a preacher who taught that he was God, he was disciple of Father Jehovah. I don't know if y'all heard of these people. This is we talking about 1900 I mean he died in I think 1960 something, but we talking about the 1900 1920s is when these people came out again. So this is Father Divine right here. He was a student of Father Jehovah. Okay, he a founder of International Peace Mission Movement, was a religious leader, businessman, and civil rights activist. Okay, Baker allied himself with Father Jehovah, adopting the title of the Messenger. Now, who else? Who else do you know calls themselves the Messenger of Allah? Just think about it. And it was around this time now. Baker allied himself with the Father Jehovah, adopting the title of the Messenger. Jehovah's group believed they could embody God by practicing pure religious beliefs. Baker was renowned for his powerful sermons and charismatic presence. In 1912, Baker left Father Jehovah and declared that he was the only true expression of God's Spirit, taking the name Father Major Jealous Divine. He spent 5 years in the South as a circuit evangelist, calling himself Messenger of God. At one point, he was judged insane and confined. He was also a victim of mob violence and claimed to have narrowly escaped lynching. Baker's followers were held to strict behavioral standards, including temperance, reunification of family ties, and celibacy. Father Divine married by characterized the union as spiritual rather than physical. So again, what is one of the symptoms that he did? They kept these people away from their family ties. He also introduced celibacy. Okay, and that's why a lot of it doesn't last to this day. But what happened is he tried to say that Father Jehovah is not God and that really he is God. But at first he was the messenger of God, and Father Jehovah was God. You see what I'm saying? Because that was his message. That was the person who was teaching. That was his messenger. So this is not. So when we hear other groups saying this is not something that's new, modern. It's something that's been going on for since the 1900s. A little bit after we got freed, I guess a lot of black people just started taking the ignorance of our people from being free at the time, still under these religions, and trying to catch as much people they can psychologically. You know what I'm saying? So Father Jehovah, I don't, we can't really find too much about Father Jehovah. All I know, he was a God. He was one of the first people that was saying he was God, calling himself Father Jehovah, and then that's where Divine got his from. And then later on, you start hearing people like Elijah saying he's the messenger of God. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of this stuff again happening around the same time. I don't know. I don't know if you know if it's a group that pushed these people out. I don't. I can't say. Don't know. Father Divine was a contemporary of other religious leaders at the time, such as Daddy Grace, Charles Harrison Mason, Noble Drew Ali, James F. Jones, also known as Prophet Jones, another minister by the name of Jones, would play a significant part in brief struggle to gain control of peace mission following Divine's death. Now, yes, Prophet Jones, the guy to the all the way to the end. I don't know if y'all know him. The white guy who was a preacher who made all black people commit suicide at a time. I think when he was borderland in Africa. He was influenced and mentored by Father Divine. And around that time, you had people like Daddy Grace, Charles Mason, Nobel Drew Ali. Okay, these are all the people that was around this time when Father Divine was coming around saying that he was God. And then you had Elijah coming a little bit after saying that he was the messenger of God. Um, so a lot of this teaching and a lot of this Eastern, what they call Eastern, bringing the Eastern teachings in, like the Moorish, the Nation of Islam, um, Hebrew Israelite. This started coming a little bit after this. The Hebrew Israelite came a little bit after this though, but around this time, these are more like Christian people. And then the Moorish people and the Nation of Islam came in, and they started teaching um different things that didn't have nothing anything to do with the regular normal teaching of Christianity. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people ain't gonna like this, but I'm bringing it out. Um, you can determine, like I said, I ain't determine who is bad, who is good. I'm just bringing these people out, but I'm saying if they have these symptoms, if they pushing false information, if they was claiming that they was a deity and claiming that they was more than what they are, to me, I think there was a danger to the community because they died. They went to prison. They're not. One of them not even here no more. And then you got people who come right up after them is teaching the same thing. They're saying the same thing. They're saying they God. They're saying that they the most high. That and people believe in this stuff because they don't want to believe in the real creator. They're believing anything else. They believe in a pig. They believe in even the sun. They believe in anything that don't have to do with the Most High. All right. Jim Jones, Reverend Ike. These are people who follow after Prophet Divine, who was influenced. What was their influence? To talk to the people, to get these people to become loyal to him so they can get rich off him. Father Divine was a rich man. Reverend Ike was a rich man. Jim Jones is a rich man. And then you have pastors after them like I can't remember the rest of them, but we're gonna talk about it. You got uh, other people who came that understood. So it became a job. It became more of a luxury to be this type of teacher, to make people think I'm God, so you should take care of me. I should be rich while they're giving you the money and poor. We talk about the churches who do the same thing, but there's people outside the churches that was doing the same thing. It's people in the black in what you call Kemetic movement that was doing the same thing. The Pan African movement, the Hebrew Israel, is people in all these groups that have this same mind concept of they should live luxury, while their followers are not. Okay. Jones' last trip to Peace Mission in 1971 ended badly when he made a direct play to take over leadership of the Vines movement, even going after, according to Raven, as to claim that he was Father Divine in a new body, and Mother Divine formally rebuked him in a temple. Uh, with Jones was forced out of the Peace Mission lodging in the middle of the following night. There are conflicting rumors as to the direct cause of the final rupture, and they never were allowed back. Now, the reason I laugh, right, because I heard the story of the Elijah Muhammad thing, right? Of Farad was actually, I don't know if anybody ever heard of it, Commission gave me this information. We were talking about that Farad was actually in, where we know Farad was actually in the Moorish Science Temple. And then when Nobel Ali died, he claimed that he was Nobel Ali reincarnated. So that's why I left, because this thing, the van, the Father the Van in the nation Islam, this thing is so similar. He's calling himself the messenger of God. Elijah calling himself the messenger of God. You got a Father Allah. You got Farad that's supposed to be Allah in human form. You got a man that waited for somebody to die, say he the reincarnation. You got another man that's doing the same thing. So I'm just saying, and a lot of these people faded off. People don't know where their bodies at. They don't know when they died. They just disappeared. So were they agents? Were they people who was put in to cause the confusion? Were there these people that put in to cause conflict and attack the Most High? I don't know, and keep people based on, keep people distracted. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because it's just a coincidence. All these people came around the same time. Like I said, a lot of people ain't gonna like it because I know a lot of people follow these people. A lot of people's in this stuff, but I'm not in none of this stuff. I don't follow nothing. I don't follow no one. I follow the Most High. That's why I tell y'all, I don't follow nothing. I don't follow no group. I'm not in no group. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not willing to let nobody control me of how I should think and what I should think and what I should say. All right. Of course, these are other people who came after. No, Father Divine. You had Noble Joel Lee, or he was before. He was around about the same time that you had Elijah. Then you had Yahweh Ben Yahweh. You had Dr. York. Again, I'm gonna let you determine was these people cult leaders. But I'm gonna tell you, the two at the bottom of what they were convicted for, the way they did, and the things you heard, I would say they was more a cult leader from the rules of what the cult leader is. Elijah, you heard the rumors, you heard the stuff he was doing. So I mean, he could have been a cult leader, but they didn't really get him like they did the other two at the bottom. Robert Joy Lee, I mean, most I've heard is more of basically lying. Lying about his name, where he come from, the regular stuff most of them do. But I haven't really heard too much about um, the other stuff that comes with the cult leadership. I don't know, I mean, I haven't really heard too much about that. But the other three I kind of heard. So I mean, you can go back and really take the rules and look at these people, determine are these people considered a cult leader, or was there a new movement? I mean, real religious or racial movement, which was part of that. Was they a sect? Was they just a new religion that came out and people got scared of them and tried to put bad names on them? That's what you determine. All right. Anti-Defamation League. So we will go to hold on. All right. We can go to the Black Hebrew Israelites, right? This is not to tear them down. I'm just going through every single thing. I broke down what a cult leader is. I broke down what a cult is. I broke down what a religion is. Okay, so we just determined what is what. Now they consider a black Hebrew Israelite more of a sect. Now, why do they consider them a sect? Because they say all black Hebrew Israelites do not teach this, and they are part of a bigger brand of Hebrew Israelite. They are not the original. These teachings are not the original. You had people like the Ten Commandment keepers. You had people like that before these people. So they are a sect, a branch of an older group. Okay. All right. Black Hebrew Israelites ideology is rooted in French interpretation of enslavement and mistreatment of black individuals throughout history, including the belief that God punished disobedient Israelites by spreading their nation and their descendants across the world. While BHI holds white people responsible for the slave trade, some teachings place importance on the actions of Israelites that led to their punishment and how acceptance of the ideology will put them back into God's good graces. American slaves found commonality with the biblical enslavement of Israelites and considered themselves descendants of tortured people. Over time, elements of black nationalism and black identity were incorporated into ideology and later became defining elements of 1960 during the civil rights era. Okay, now, like I said, I don't went to the schools, I don't listen to Black Hebrew. I mean, these one of the people that brought me into this stuff, you know what I mean? So, um, so I understand a lot of the stuff they saying. A lot of these groups at that time was teaching what you call black nationalism using religion, mixing with a little bit of white black supremacy. You know what I'm saying? That's what they was teaching, and they use religion to teach it. Am I saying it's not real? Am I saying that none of these people what they are talking about is not real? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking on we should look at every single leader that we have and determine are these people cults? Are they cult leaders? Are they really for our people? I don't care who don't like what I say. It doesn't matter to me. And ain't gonna stop me saying what I'm saying. So that don't mean nothing to me. You know, a person might don't like it, they don't like it. I'm a person, I question everything. I'm not gonna look at nothing blind. If you do, that's on you. Frank S. Cherry was an American man who was the founder and leader of one of the early Black Hebrew Israelites groups in the United States. Little is known about Cherry's early and adult life, other than that he was born in the southern United States. He did not go to school, but educated himself in both Hebrew and Yiddish and worked as a sailor, during which he claimed to have been declared a prophet. He was a third degree Scottish Rite Mason and member of the Big Brothers organization. Cherry claimed to have envisioned that African Americans are descendants of ancient Israelites. Okay. Now I did throw this Mason thing in there. You're damn right. I always throw Mason stuff in there because I've been studying this stuff and I understand and I see. Am I saying all Masons are bad? No, but I damn sure see that Masonry has a lot to do with the stuff that was bad when it comes to certain things. Um, Even up to, I mean, a lot of these people that we looked up to were Masons. So it matters what you look at as Masons as. Like I said, I'm not a person. I'm a researcher. So what I'm doing is giving you the information so you can determine. I'm not a person that pushes. See, a lot of these people push because they are followers. They're followers of these groups. They're followers of these leaders. So they want to push and make you believe something. I'm not making you believe anything. I'm showing you. You see what I'm saying? That's a difference between me and other people. I'm not trying to defend nothing. I'm not trying to assume anything and say this is what it is. I'm telling you this is what they're saying, and this is what a lot of people said these people did. I wasn't there, so all I'm going by what people said or what or we understand what these people are convicted of. Okay, and what people are pushing today that they're regurgitating. Like I said, people are regurgitating these people's stuff. So you have to understand the origin where something comes from. Never. Just listen to what the people talking in modern time. Understand where they getting this stuff from. Okay, understand who they getting it from. Understand who the people is, and what the groups, and what they stood for, what they were. Now, I'm just putting that Mason thing out here because that's what I do. I show it all the time. People, anybody that really knows me, hey, I've showed Khalid Muhammad was a Mason. I showed Dr. Ben was a Mason, and I've even argued with Mason, and I had Mason call me on the phone because I've said, how can you be a black leader and be a Mason and teach us the truth if you say you have a secret that we don't supposed to have? This is what I say. And so I'm saying I've had people say, I understand. Just put it that way. So I ain't worried about nobody because I've talked to many people. I've had many people get mad at me. I don't had Islam come back. I don't care. That you don't mean nothing to me, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk my talk and I'm gonna keep talking. And that's just what it is. At the same time, the Church of God, the Saints, and Christ serve as a non-racist alternative to church teaching. Founded in 1896 by William Saunders Crowdy. In the Lawrence, Kansas, the BHI sect mixed aspects of Christianity with Israelite slave narratives. Crowdy, an escaped slave, said he received godly visions that proved the lost tribe of Israel were black. His congregation continues to maintain its non-extreme messaging. So what I'm saying is this: if you're going to attack other people, if you're going to attack, let's say Allstate, if you're going to attack these people and say, "Oh, these people say they got messages from angels," these people, then why don't you look at your leader or your person that originally helped found something that said that they had visions, that said they had visions and seen things, and that they were more important, and or their deities now, or they come from this place, and you just want me to accept that these type of people. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying no. I'm saying if we go look at this person, we got to look at this person, we got to look at that person, and that's just a fact. You're not gonna tell me he's crazy for saying angels talk to him, but he's saying he had a vision and got some information for some people, and he's seen Jesus and he's seen God and talked to him. I'm supposed to look at them all differently because one of them you follow and one of them you don't. I don't follow none of them. So I look at them evenly, and I'm looking at it, and I'm telling you what these people saying. And I look at people, anybody sideways, they say they have visions. I do it to the Bible. I do it to anybody that's still modern times. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go into the modern. We're gonna go to the modern cult leader. One that people really know about. Um, there's no. I mean, listen. This is why I say cult leader, and that's why I say the other things. Right. This is why I'm saying this because you can put a cult leader on a certain people in a certain group. Does not mean that they are cult leaders. Because if no, nothing like sexual attacks, exploitation, stuff, I don't care if the person say God. I mean, that's what he wanted to say. If you want to say Jesus, that's on him. If you want to believe that, that's on him. But the problem is when they start teaching false knowledge, when they start exploiting people for money, when they start sexually abusing our people, that's when we should cut these people off. I don't care who they are. I don't care what nation they're a part of. I don't care who they belong to. I don't care how high esteem you look at them. That shit don't mean nothing. What I'm saying is we can't look at this man right here and say, oh, he's a bad guy, he's a cult leader. Then you have other people that's doing the same thing, but you got people defending this man. You got people telling you this man should be out. He was set up. When it's reoccurring every time. And every time I see these type of people, I tell people like, man, that motherfucker is a cult leader. He gonna get locked up. He gonna get in trouble. He's doing stuff he ain't supposed to do. I know, I can tell it's a routine. because these people are not teaching nothing new. They make you believe it because a lot of people don't know about these people. A lot of people don't know about a Dr. York. A lot of people don't know about um no S. Cherry and Father Divine and nobody Joel Lee. Especially the newer generation, they don't know nothing about them. I talk to them. I sit out there and talk to the people. I don't be on social media. I talk to the people. I talk to my youngest, and they don't know nothing about these people. So when these people coming up talking about this, I just got on a guy. He was trying to teach that giants got scared and turned to a mountain. Like this is crazy. Like that is a teaching that can make you lose a touch of reality. Don't you understand? When you teach something like that and people believe that, what will they not believe? And this what people not understanding. So when people come out here and teach us, so I had to teach them where that it's called the terrified. I think it's called the terrified giant. I had to show them where it came from. It came from a fake archaeologist who created a fake giant, and they've been teaching, and it been pushed after that. He didn't even put it in no damn mountain or nothing. He put it in the ground, but somehow is a teacher now that giants got so scared they turned into a mountain. And this man is out here teaching, and people are agreeing to it. It's not that he's teaching it; it's that people are coming to this a conclusion and saying, "Yes, that makes sense. It makes sense to people that a giant got scared to turn the mountains. That makes sense to people. It makes sense that they, I mean, it's just I don't want to talk about everything, you know what I mean, but I'm just saying it's the stuff they talking about. Like I deal with the cloning thing. They talking about it's a machine that clone people. I had to show them that they don't have this stuff. You're making these people more powerful than they is. You're letting these people teach you stuff, and most of these people are not teachers because they don't know anything. I've been in the game a long, long, long time. I became a student. I was taught other people. I went under people. I did talk to leaders. I talked to elders. I talked to my real elders, my uncles who was 100 years old, who taught me stuff. I sat down with them. I learned from them. I learned from old school Israelite teachers. I learned from all type of people. Man, I've even learned from Masons that told me to stay away from it. So when I talk about stuff, I'm not talking about stuff because I don't know. It's just that simple. All right. He often claimed to be a Messiah and referred himself as God and Master Teacher. What is carbonation? Originally called melanation. The group later became Carbonation. Bishop taught that black people, particularly those of African descent, were divine beings meant to live in harmony with nature. His ideology mixed elements of melanin supremacy, the belief that melanin gives black people superior spiritual and intellectual capabilities, solar and natural living, advocating for a raw vegan diet, nudity, and living off the land. Anti-government and anti-Western medicine views, rejecting modern society as corrupt and unnatural. Controversial allegations. Despite his seemingly peaceful message, Bishop and Combination faced numerous allegations such as sexual and physical abuse. Former members accused Bishop of controlling women in the group, forcing them into polygamous relationships and abusing them. Brainwashing and isolation. Followers were reportedly cut off from their families and forced to surrender their money and possessions. Okay, so we understand this man is a cult leader. How come everybody can agree that this man is a cult leader? But when we talk to these other people who back in the day, who was down there doing the same thing, you have people that still trying to defend them because they are in a cult, because they man are gone. They put all their loyalty, they put all their finances, they put all their whole spirit into this person, and they cannot believe this person deceived them like the way he did. They seen the good side of this person. This person let them see. Well, I ain't even gonna say good side. They seen the fake side that he portrayed to them that they thought was good, because that's what they do first. It's like a woman meeting a man that's abusive. What's the first thing he gonna do? He's gonna make it seem like he loves you. He's gonna bring you in. He's gonna be all night, and then he gonna eventually hit you. Then he's gonna eventually do it again. Then he gonna say he's sorry. You see what I'm saying? Then it will get to a point where a lot of women start thinking it's their fault or he loves me. It's a psychological thing. See, I study psychology. When you study psychology, you understand. Um, when I talk about serial killers again, when I talk about mental health in the black community, I'm showing the origin of it. I'm showing that this serial killer ain't just become a serial killer. This serial killer was locked in cages and beat with bats by his parents, and he thought that violence was normal. Does it justify what he did? No. But does it explain why he did it? Yes. But does it justify why he did it and why him killing them innocent people? No. But understand, these people ain't just come out of nowhere and doing what they're doing. These people have been traumatized and beat up and pushed into this. That's why we talk about stuff like what I call the slave effect. You know, what they call post-traumatic slave syndrome. You know what I mean? But I call it slave effect, where a lot of stuff that happened is still happening to us generational. People try to tell me, "Oh, that happened back in the day. Oh, you ain't never been to oppressed." You, for one thing, I have been oppressed. I have faced racism. That's a lie. But secondly, that stuff passes down because your parents go through that. They pass it to you. Um, when you break up a family, when you destroy their father home, you think it don't destroy the next generation? When you put crack in the community, you think it don't destroy the next generation? When you stop black people from creating big, great communities, you think they don't destroy the next generation? What are we talking about here? Okay, targeting vulnerable prey. Receptive people are those who are looking to escape something, such as an unhappy life situation and belong, be accepted and finding meaning. Cults prey upon the vulnerable among us, such as teenage runaway drug addicts, abusive survivors, those who have lost someone close to them through death or breakup, those suffering from insecurity and mental health issues, or anyone who feels disconnected from society. Drawing in recruits. Once the potential recruit is in the presence of occult members, typically still oblivious to the group's agenda. They are showered with love and validation. The tactic referred to as love bombing makes the recruit believe they've found what they're looking for and more likely to return to group activities in the future. This is critical to early stages of cult indoctrination, such as recruit is not yet under their influence and needs to feel secure or taking control. Now, look, I understand this feeling, right? We can go into the streets. When I had no father, I was angry. When I went into the streets, I was looking for a father figure. You run into these older guys. They making this money. They getting these women. They got all this loot. I started selling drugs at 13 years old. See what I'm saying? I wanted to be in the group, in a gang. I want in the gang they could created, or any group or crew they created. I always wanted to be in it. I always wanted to join it because I wanted that feeling of being important. It's not that I wanted to be the toughest gangster in my era around my way, not just because I wanted to be the top gangster. I wanted to be loved. And at that time I didn't know what love was. I thought love was fear. I thought love was violence. I thought love was doing anything for the hood. And I understand when I got older that's not what that is. So that's why I teach my son. I be in my make sure I'm in my son's life. You know, a lot of these men want to blame women for a lot of the problems that the youth is going through. But where are you at? Where is the man at? You see what I'm saying? My son don't do. My son has graduated. My son ain't been in trouble. My son ain't on drugs. My son working. I'm teaching my son to drive now. So when they say the father doesn't mean nothing, he does. And I'm telling you from experience, from not having a father. Okay. So what I'm saying is, when you go through this traumatic stuff, when you go through death, when you go through a lot of stuff, you're looking for anybody could take it away. And not anybody, anything. Sometimes people go to drugs. Some people go to cults or groups. So when I seen these groups, like the first time I seen the Hebrew Israelites, they wasn't talking religious. They was talking about, oh, you black people, you're going through this, you're cursed by God. We need to come back to God. The slave trade, it sounded so good because it was like it was something I was looking for. It was something to get justified why I was going through what I was going through. When I found it and I started talking to these people, I understand it was not what I thought it was. Like they always say, never meet the person you look up to. Never meet never meet the rapper you look up to or the artist you look up to. Because when you meet these people that you put up on a pedestal, you're going to realize they just humans. Okay. As they indoctrinated new members, many caught separated from their families, friends, and jobs, slowly remaking their identities to suit the group. They may force recruits to surrender their money, belongings, and bodies to the cult's leader and other members. Sometimes they compel new members to marry people they just met. They may use punishment, deprivation, deprivation, and other tactics to wear them down. These efforts, which sometimes include threats, make new members dependent on and afraid to leave the group. Of fully indoctrinated members often engage in behavior they never would have considered in their former lives. So again, you bring these people in with false love, uh, making it seem like it's a home for them. We know that you're hurt. We know that you're traumatized. We know you might be a drug addict. We know you might be a runaway. We know you might have a mental issue. We know you come here. We got you. We're gonna raise you up. When you get there, they slowly destroying you. They slowly taking your money from you. They slowly taking of your family away from you. They slowly physically abusing you. They slowly doing a lot of these things that you didn't know, but by the time you find out, you're already deep into it. They have you doing things that you never thought you're going to do or would have did because the loyalty, the faithfulness, the connection, the attachment you have to these groups that they put upon you. Same thing as a pimp. Same thing as a pimp to a prostitute. They do the same exact thing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no difference. These are this. See, we look at these people as just street people. These people have been taught psychology. When you really listen to pimps, they tell you they using psychology. These niggas ain't just regular niggas in the street to say, hey, women, come over here and sell money. No, they know what you are. They know what happened to you. They know you down. They know where to find you. That's why when you read that book, I forgot what the book called. It's a book the pimps always had, and they teach you how to find a woman, where to find her at, if she got low self-esteem. All these things matter into pimping. Pimping has rules too. Don't think it's just some guy just coming in and taking a woman and say, hey, make some money for her. That's not how that works. Okay. All right. So my thoughts on this, I'm gonna say, like I said again, just be careful. Be careful who you listening to. We in the era of social media. We in the era when people are pushing um, extreme knowledge without no sources, without no well, I ain't even gonna say so, without no real information, without no proof. Um, it's real dangerous again because of social media. So a lot of these people have a lot of followers that they don't have to be in a room just with 30, 40 people anymore. They're online with thousands of people watching them. And some of these people need straitjackets. I mean, let's be real. Some of these people are teaching crazy stuff. And the crazier you teach, it seems like the more people listen. And again, when you lose a touch of reality, when these people make you lose a touch of reality, when you look at other people above you as a deity, okay, you will start believing anything. You will start doing anything what these people tell you. I've got to a point, man, where I mean, I was almost there. I got to a point where I was believing a lot of that crazy stuff. I was believing trees could walk. I mean, because it just started sounding. So I call it sound good doctrine. it started sounding so good. It just sounded good. It made you feel like you knew some stuff other people didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is it makes you lose a touch of reality, man. It makes you start just, but it got to a point I didn't know what was real and what was fake. I got family, I got people out here right now that I'm trying to bring back to reality. That's telling me we live in a computer. That's telling me everybody's PC that they get downloads, and I mean, it's craziness. And if you really out in the streets talking to people, if you really on the social media talking to people, teaching people, building with people, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you ain't doing that. But if you doing that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You hear the information, you like, how do you believe this? I know you're not crazy. I hang with you every day. I talk to you every day. I know you shouldn't be believing this. Why are you believing this? Because they go on TikTok and stuff sound interesting. The way they talk, the way they got the video made. See, a lot of people don't want information no more, man. A lot of people call what I do boring because because I'm bringing real information. I ain't trying to cause drama. I'm not arguing with nobody. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not teaching no crazy stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be as real as I can with the stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of people will call me boring, but hey, call me boring. Just know that I lifted up a lot of people, man. I teach a lot of people. A lot of people depend on my teaching. You know, I sit down with a lot of people that go through stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm willing to help. I teach my son. That's all that matters. I care about the people who want to listen. I don't care about the people who don't want to listen because I ain't trying to be bigger than I'm not trying to be bigger than anybody. I'm a person who came from the street just like anybody else. I'm a person who was trying to find my way. I'm a person who studied, who taught, who was a student under many people because I believe that you can't be no teacher without being a student. You know, I studied. Anything I really really talk about. I've been studying for at least 20 years. Bible, psychology, cloning. A lot of stuff. It's just stuff I've been. I can. That's why I always show posts from I did in 2012, 11, because I've been talking about this stuff. This ain't nothing new. But if anybody want to come on, they come on now. If anybody want to come on and talk real quick, Bill. I'm not gonna stay on too long. I gotta work, but thank Karima for South United States. Thank Karima for letting me come on. I haven't been on here a long time. I enjoy the Lions Den, just like coming back home. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be teaching more. I just been on the low, kind of trying to build my own platform stuff up. Um, Apollo Bay, you say you want to come up here? Let me hear what you have to say. Okay, all right. But again, I'm just gonna say, I mean, thank you for listening, man. But because I know a lot of people not gonna listen, because a lot of people are stuck in these things and stuck under these groups. Um, I hope, I hope that when these next cult leaders come, that people can understand that who they are and get away from them, and not fall for it. Yeah, I mean, I want to see why he said he want all the smoke. I want to see what the reason what you want all the smoke with me for. I already know this gonna touch a lot of people's nerves. I do this all the time. Trust me.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate you coming in, giving us this information. You're always welcome. This is your home.
Yeah, thank you too. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, if ain't nobody could come on, then I thought he was gonna come on. He said he was coming on. Let me ask you: have you had the experience with any type of cult group or something that you might have almost joined or know somebody that tried to join it? And let me see, hey, so, I was asking you, Kareem. I can't hear nothing. Nah, everybody jumping on now. Yeah, y'all. Shalom, smash idol. Y'all, shalom, smash idol. Yeah. Peace and digits, black man. Yeah, I just missed it though, but y'all can rewind. This ain't a long video, but I was breaking down cult leaders, the symptoms of it, the origin of it, um, how dangerous it is for our community. That's really it. Talking about people like Father Divine up to the Hebrew Israelites to um, just different groups that came out in the 1900s, the 20s.
Uh-uh.
Oh, you say you have? Anybody want to pop on before we leave? Psalms 150 forever. Yeah, you know it. Yeah, but like I said, Apollo Bay, I'm not talking about opinions. I mean, you didn't see no opinion on my sheet. You seen straight sources. You seen straight information. Nothing was opinion. The only thing I was trying to tell people is I'm not a person who bashes. I'm not a person who's going to tell you this person's a cult leader. I'm going to tell you that the symptoms. I'm going to tell you that what they call a cult leader, and I'm going to give you, and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to bring up these people, and we're going to compare some of their symptoms. And I compared some of their symptoms, the stuff that they teaching. Let's go to somebody like I'm gonna go to somebody like General Hunter. Let's go to somebody like General Hunter, right? All right. Does he have certain symptoms of a cult leader? Yeah, right. Now, it's rumors I've heard, but I can't really say. I don't speak on it because I don't know if them are true. But what I do know is that he has put himself as a high on the pedestal. I've heard him say that it's God, Jesus, and him. I've heard basically he say he gets his information from Jesus. I've been in the school where I ask a question, they tell me you can't ask nothing we already know. So, but have I seen good things about him? Yes, but I've seen things that made me feel like, hey man, this might be a cult. But can I naturally call him a cult, or would they call him a cult? No, because not right now, because they haven't did the full cultist thing as far as we know. Some people have said it, but I don't know. Like I said, because I don't. I mean, they haven't been convicted of anything, or nobody went to jail for it. So I don't really know. But when we go to somebody like Dr. York, yes, we can say that as a cult leader until you can find this person innocent. I can say Rashid Jamal is a cult leader. I can say Polite. Well, I mean, he was trying to be a cult leader. Nature Boy, cult leader. These are the differences of what I'm trying to explain. That's why I was explaining with Nobel Jew Ali. Can I call him a cult leader? No, I can't really call him that. But does he have semi symptoms of it? Yes, of what I've heard. You know what I mean? But I can't. He's never been locked up of that, so I don't know. But has he been accused of conning and lying and about his name? Yes. But is that enough to say that he's on the same level as a Dr. York or um a Rashad Jamal or anything like that? No. So I'm just showing the differences of why they making these new names up, because cult has been put on so much people just because you're teaching something that is not in the norm. And all of a sudden, oh, this is a cult. So that's all I was just showing. Well, can you read Matthew 6, 1 through 5, fam? That's for these camps. Hold on. I read it for you. We say Matthew 6, 1 through 5. Hold on, let me get this real quick. Matthew 6, 1 through 5. Okay. Let me say the NIV. I don't, it might don't matter. Let me just read it. Let me see. It says, be careful not to practice your righteousness in front of others to be seen by them. If you do, you will have no reward for your Father in heaven. So when you give the needy, do not announce it with trumpets, and hypocrites do in the synagogues and on the streets to be honored by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you have give to the needy, do not let your left hand know your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for the love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. That's some good verses right there. I mean, uh, and that's why I can say, me dealing with the camps, it is, because I came from a Christian background into Hebrewism. I mean, I studied a lot of other stuff too. You welcome. A lot of these tour channels be culture, just internet style. Are you right? I can say that. I mean, man, this is the tour, a lot of the camp. I mean, that's why I say I'm not one thing. You know what I mean? I'm not in these groups because I've seen. I mean, I just can't put my name on none of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've seen a lot of stuff that I just don't agree with or like, and it's not just the teaching. You know what I mean? Like people gonna teach what they. Well, you can't stop people from teaching what they want to. It's the other stuff that come in with it. It's a lot of people I feel like should not even be teaching or shouldn't even be talking, and they out here and got followers, and you like how this man just I don't want to say people's names, but how you I've seen a person wish death on a person kids and say I hope God kill your kid, like I mean, and then people, it's like how he's not banned. Like I've seen people say crazy stuff to people, man, and it's like how you not banned. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just me. I mean, if you're supposed to be a leader, if you're supposed to be, how you a priest, and you get caught up, and then you come back and get accepted again. I mean, I mean that's how. I mean, I'm scared. I'm scared. Polite. I'm scared people like Polite will come out and nothing gonna happen to him. And I mean, I don't mean nothing gonna happen to him. I mean, as far as I think he might be right back in the circle again. I've seen people talk about, oh, will he come back out and listen to him? So it's like, I don't know, man. Our people got a long way to go, man. It's like it's getting sad out here. I ain't. I just scared for the next generation because the next generation, man, don't even have half of the knowledge that we had, man. They don't have half of the history that we know that we obtained. They don't know a lot. I try to put as much as I can in my son, man, because the next generation don't know anything. I mean, and it's not their fault. But I talked to a lot of generations, and then like I said, my son told me, he said, man, they're not even teaching us Black history in school. I don't know if they're doing it up north or not, but they stopped that stuff down here. They don't teach Black history no more. My son don't know nothing about no Malcolm X. They don't know who Marcus Garvey. They don't know none of that stuff. They don't know none of that. Like I at least knew a piece of that stuff because of my mother. So it's like they don't know putting your own down for money is what they're doing, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a dollar bill. That's why they say it's not the money is not the root of it, it's the love of it. The love of money is the root of it, even because what you'll do for it. And I've heard people. I mean, I don't ask people, man, what if a person gave you $1 million? Would you do this and that? I mean, I'm talking about people don't admit it. They would do a lot of things that you would be surprised they said they would do for money, and you were like, whoa, you know what I mean? What's up, Sman?
Hey, what it is, Shalom, can you hear me good?
Yeah, yeah, P.
Peace, peace. Damn, I ain't even getting no notification that y'all was on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I would have pulled up for sure. How you been out?
I've been good, man. I've been good, just been studying, reading, been out the way, working.
Yeah, I like that title though, you know what I'm saying? And I've been feeling that way too, in a way, you know what I'm saying? I've been feeling like, I see it like this. A lot of people in the Israelite community, they wind up going astray because they be following men. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? They don't understand that when we read the scriptures, it's clear that whether from Jehoiakim to Jeroboam, it don't matter. It's always somebody trying to lead something, and they were
yeah,
doing it for themselves. You know what I mean?
yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
agree.
so, and with that, you know what I'm saying? They kind of do make it harder for people that's actually being sincere. You know what I'm saying? To warn people about that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like y'all older generation, y'all go against the one West camps and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And like my generation, I think it's more of going against these esoteric doctrines and all this other stuff that's going on in our community. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
whatever it is, it's like stop following man, y'all. Really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm glad you said something about the esoteric thing because I mean, yeah, we like I said, we need our next generation to do that stuff, man. Because like I said, I don't bash the camps, man, as much as other people do. Because if it weren't for the camps, I wouldn't even have been in, as an Israelite as I was. Like, you know what I mean? Because the people I first seen was a Bach and Zazariak and stuff like that. So, but it took it on my own self to start studying after that. You know what I'm saying? Start studying on my own. But like I said, because when I went to him, and you telling me I can't ask questions, I know I'm not sitting there like that. You know what I mean? That's why I had left the church because I was 12 years old. I sat in the office with my preacher, and I'm asking him questions, and he couldn't answer nothing. You know what I mean? So it was like only God knows it. But you're supposed to be some type of messenger for God or talking for God or something. You're supposed to be something. So I realized that stuff wasn't for me. So I left out. Like I said, I was in the streets for a while though, but then I started studying other stuff. I was studying either Comedicism. I was around five percenters. I don't try to study the Nation of Islam. I don't, Moorish history. I did a lot of stuff, but then I ran into the Israelite stuff. You know what I mean? And I like that the way they was talking. So I don't really try to bash them. I just try to get people to understand what they are. Like to me, they ain't no different than the Nation of Islam. And when I say that, it means they're a black national group that uses religion and they push black supremacy. I mean, they push that the black man is the van and the white people is the devil, but they pushing it in a religious way to and am I saying that do I agree? I'm not a black supremacist, but at the same time, I understand where the history of it comes from. I understand that their history. That's why I said I studied origins. I understand when Elijah was talking about that, what time and where he was at. You know what I'm saying? We talking about the 1920s, 30s. Ashley K was talking about this stuff in 1960s. So, can I get on them about what they was teaching? Not really, because when they was teaching it. It's now that it's 2025 and you still teaching something that's 100 years out of date. You know what I mean? That's just the problems. But other than that, I don't have a big problem with them. But I have the problem of um, I have more of a problem like what you said, the esoteric stuff. Like I understand esotericism, but it's getting to a point. Well, I ain't even gonna say as I call it. I just call it sound good doctrine. Like I told people, man, it's this dude. He was teaching that giants got scared, and that's where mountains come from. So giants turn into mountains, and the sky is fake, and we live in a computer, and what I mean. Like it's people that's really teaching this stuff. You know what I mean, and people are really listening. And I'm like, if you believe that, what are you not gonna believe? I mean, you're gonna start believing crazy. I mean, it's crazier doctrines than what we hear out here. I'm talking about it's insane, man. And I was like,
Yeah.
and I'd be looking at it like, ain't no, I call it I call it straight jacket doctrine. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, you got to be in a straight jacket to believe this. There's no way. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have some type of mental problem to believe that this is real. That somebody got so scared they turned to a rock. Like, like just think about that. I know I talk about it a lot, but just think about that. For you to to tell me you insane, right? And then I say, you know what? I'm insane. I'm not crazy, but these rocks, man, they're really giants that got scared and turned to mountains. I mean, do you know how crazy that sounds? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. If a person was saying that on the street, you ain't know him, you'd have thought this motherfucker escaped a mental place. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So it's like I, I think I think everybody's trying to get away from the Most High, man, and the farther they going from the Most High, the most, like I said, it's just getting more crazy because um, when we talk about the Bible, we tell people about the Bible all the time. The most thing I tell people is you got to get the instruction and the morals out of that stuff, man. The problem is you worrying about the wrong stuff in there, and you ain't even understanding what the lessons and the morals of it. And so when people are leaving this stuff and leaving the Most High, they becoming crazy. You know, they like I said, they rather worship the sun, trees, plants, money. They rather worship anything other than the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's how I feel about that.
Uh, yeah, it's the lies and the manipulation for me, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like the partiality and all that other stuff that come along with it. You know what I mean? Our people just love to be into like man following. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And and I'm gonna be honest with you, when you grasp the understanding of the scriptures and you start to learn how to maneuver around them, if you want if a person allow you to lead them, you can lead them however you want to. That's why I tell people always, you need to read for yourself. Stop getting on YouTube all the time
exactly,
trying to learn something from somebody when you can read the same book that we got. It's the
exactly.
same book. That's why we around here debating about Sabbaths, debating about everything else. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? When it's clear, all we got to do is just read and stop.
yeah,
And I like even what IBM has said about timelines are important. It's even important as far as what events happened, when they happened, and what state the nation was in at that time. You know
yeah,
what I mean? In order for us to get to where we need to go, we can't pick one part of a prophecy and put it somewhere that is not, you know what I'm saying, and try to a precept and precept all of that, and that, that's wrong. But yeah, it's the lies and manipulation, man. And our people just need to understand these codes. They come in all type of sectors. They ain't even gotta have the Power Ranger suits on no more.
yeah, yeah.
All they
Exactly.
gotta
Nope.
do is have a good thumbnail.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. People lost the, and that's why I said, like, people like me, they call us, they call people like me who trying to tell the truth, they call us boring because, the truth just don't sound as good as the false stuff they putting out there. But if you want the truth, man, you got to learn the truth. But like I tell people, I don't teach it to say, listen to what I'm saying and take it. That's why when I put this stuff up, I put the books, I put other stuff you can read, I put the information where you can get it from and read up on it. Um, and I tell people about the Bible. I don't taught people how to look at it. I always tell people, I don't teach people the Bible. I teach you how to, I open you up to it, how to look at it in a certain way, and then I tell you to read it. You know what I mean? To go understand it, read it for yourself. Don't let me tell you how to look at this. You know what I mean? You read it for yourself. Now, if you want to come back and you want to build with me, we can. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to, I don't have people want me to be teachers. I don't have people that want me to start a group. I mean, I don't have people that want me to do that stuff. And I don't do that, man. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? I don't. The path that I was set. You know, man. My path is to sit and build and talk to people and just open people's eyes up so they can go do it. You know what I mean? That's how I was taught. I don't have no teacher that sat there and said, this is what you learn, this is what you how you teach, this is what you do. He opened my a person opened my eyes up. And when I call a person a teacher, I don't mean it's somebody that taught me everything. A teacher to me is I could learn one thing from you and you're a teacher to me. You know what I'm saying? You don't taught me something. You don't open my eyes up to something. And once you open my eyes up to something and I understand something, I can go full blast into it. That's just that's just how I am. know, once you open my
Hey,
eyes to something, I can really study it.
yeah, hey, people need to understand like we all can learn from each other,
Yeah,
but at the same time, when it's all said and done, we should get a clear understanding from the same thing that we read it. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
exactly.
We
Yeah,
that's just it. Period. You know what I'm saying? Now, some
yeah,
people might have a more elevated understanding. That's cool, but when it comes to surface and sound doctrine, it should be the same, bro. And that even go as far as people how we act. You know what I'm saying? All of us as Israelites, we got our own style, we got our own swag, right? Cool. That's what Yahweh gave us. But just because uh just because we know that and that's acceptable, that don't mean that we go out of our way to show how foolish we can become. Oh, you
yeah,
better be, you know what I'm saying? And then make the excuse, you better be glad I'm in the Torah, or I would have, or just me talking wouldn't have been, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, and that right there, especially as, and I'm talking to Torah keepers now, I'm talking to the Torah only people at this point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to be more, we're supposed to be more of an example.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Anytime they see us on, whether it's the street or on YouTube, anytime they see us, they should have a clear understanding of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? All together. But there's so many different sectors of so-called tour only now that, it's like all over the place. And it gets to a point where, like, oh yeah, let me pause real fast. Shout out to hats off to the queen of the Lions Den, Sister Kareem. I for the appreciate for the last live, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say I don't want to say standing up for me, but about it. And I also want to say I it was said, so I'm just gonna clear it up. Smash and Idol, don't be at tour nights. I don't know why is it Apostle and JJ and everybody else like saying that. Anybody that say that, it's only because I follow the tour. But y'all can't throw that narrative on everybody. You know what I'm saying? And whatever group, I don't care what group it is. If they not living like the Torah says supposed to, and I'm talking about morally, and you can't see it, you know what I'm saying, from just the perspective that they holding, then hey, bro, they don't hold them to the same level, bro. You know what I'm saying? Especially we got people that don't believe in just Yahweh only. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna give them a reason to be like, you see, they reprobate. The Holy Spirit done left them, and all of that. We gotta be better. You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to start your own code. You know what I mean? And yeah,
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't like to try to say too many names, but I was speaking on them, yeah, because I've heard, I don't heard some nasty stuff coming out of people's mouths, and they saying they this and that, and they claiming they Torah and Old Testament stuff like that. So it's like, but like I said, I don't seen it come from all these different groups, man, and it's like I don't know if it's agenda, if agents have been put over here, and or you know, or what, where these people coming from,
man,
but yeah, but it's just like somebody who's really trying to push truth and really trying to teach is so hard, but these people who are so disrespectful and just what I mean, and just it's just nasty. They have people following them, and it's like And what happens is when the stuff like this happen, people follow these type of people. What happens is people who's trying to get in that position and trying to get followers like them, they feel like they have to do stuff like they doing, and that's the problem that I fear of, next generations, because a lot of these people don't have real information, man. A lot of these people not really putting information. They're not really talking about nothing. I mean, that matters to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I said, when I talk about stuff, I talk about like when I do a lot of stuff, man. I deal with a lot of stuff on the streets too. Like I talk to molest victims, I talk to rape victims. I do a lot of history. I go to the historical sites. I take my son with me. I take my homies from the hood. I teach the Bible. I sit down with my brothers and stuff, and I'm teaching them the Bible. Yeah, Vakar, like people like Vakar and like my homies from the hood. I send them information. They always tell me, man, send me information. What you think about this? I don't try to force nothing on them. When I talk to a person, I always tell people, when I talk to a person, I always, I always make sure they want to learn. So they want to know something. I don't want to push nothing on you. I can give you information and show you which way to go. You know what I mean? You want to come back, ask. You want to build on it. And that's why I tell people I don't do a lot of debating, man. It ain't that I don't like debating. I think debating is good when you're debating real topics and people learn something from it. That's where I think debating supposed to come from. You know what I mean? But I rather just build. I rather both of us come up here, even if I don't agree with something. If I believe in the God and you are Christian and we don't have the same beliefs, I can still sit with you. I can still talk with you. You know what I'm saying? On my shows, I have all type of people. I mean, only people I don't really deal with like Satanists, stuff like that. They can kick rocks, but any other people, you know what I'm saying? I could talk to them. I ain't got to argue with them. We could build. You know what I'm saying? We could talk. That's just what I want to do, because what I believe and what you believe ain't gonna stop nothing. It ain't gonna help our people. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? What's gonna help our people is understanding that we in trouble right now. That we need to do something. We as our next generations is in trouble, man. Like people say they not, but I don't know what they saying. But what I see as far as history, religion, as far as believing in God, as far as understanding the history. I mean, I had to argue with a person who was telling me, why should I care about the people before me? And I said, you talking about the people to the?
Right?
I mean, people talk about say segregation. We could talk about that all if they want to, but the reason you're doing the stuff you can do today is them people risk their freedom and I mean risk their lives and freedom to do it to get to where you at. Listen, every place didn't have Black Wall Street. Every place was not had great black community. That's a lie. See what I'm saying? When I talked to my mama, she told me, she said we didn't want to go to them white schools. She said them white schools was messed up. Our books was messed up. And we told them we wanted to have the equal stuff that they had, and what they did is they closed our schools up and forced us into these white schools. And then these white people didn't want us in them schools. So to make it seem like our people just wanted to integrate with white people is false. To make it seem like that all these black communities was living great is false. These it's some of them that was like it's a black community called Jacksonville where I'm from. That's where Maggie Walker was at. But they won't everywhere around. It was certain places. You know what I'm saying? They got destroyed through that from the highway. So it's like I'm just saying that we need to really we need to really help the next generation, man. We need to teach them, man, and that's what I'm focused on. Yeah, what you were saying?
Hey, hey, Art, I got a question. Do you think because you said something about like our people didn't want to integrate, and of course I believe that. But due to the fact that we've been basically embellished in these people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you think that's the reason why so much disrespect and so much mental effery and all that other type of stuff, and even like not just insulting, but lying to a person or when it say right there in the book, like say for instance, when our people didn't know how to read English, a person can open up the book, point their finger at it while you looking at it and say it say this, but it don't. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And our people do that. And well, look at the scripture. It say this, and it's like, bro, don't say that. Do you think uh us being around them people is you think that's a reason why a lot of that type of stuff going on in the Israelite community because it's still in us, even though they say we say it, we won't eat them or whoever destroyed.
I mean, yeah, I mean that's why I talk about the slave effects, stuff like that. As far as as far as things that have been passed on, it's the things that we still do to this day that was passed on from all the way back then, and I'm gonna say as far as this, they were doing that, yeah, because when you go to the Virginia Museum, they did teach that way when they like read the New Testament, they taught it in a way not exactly as the New Testament taught it. Um, I think I think that certain black people, just like anything else, I think they understood had this trickery and then they use it up on their own people. Like
Mm,
gangsterism. You see what I'm saying? Like gangsterism. Gangsterism comes from what? The Jewish people first. The Jewish was the first gangsters over here. Then it was the Italians. No, no, hold on.
that's crazy. I always say they
The
blood.
Jewish, Italians, and the Irish. Then we got the gangsterism from them. You see what I'm saying? We took the gangsterism, brought it back to our hood. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we 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 adapted and understood how they tricked our people and how they had this trick, and then they took it from them and they tricked us with it too. And that just had that's why I was going back to the 1900s and 1920s, showing that just only maybe what like 30 years, 25 years out of slavery, 35 years out of slavery, these people start popping up and saying and coming up with these different doctrines, coming with these different teachings because they knew our people at that time was not fully capable of really defending these type of teachings. Because they think about it, 1900s, y'all just coming based on slavery. You got this man that this smart. He's telling you, I learned this from God. He's telling you stuff you never heard of. You see what I'm saying? And these people are going to fall for that stuff. But a lot of these people were Masons. They were taught as Masons. They were taught Freemasonry. They were taught this stuff. They wasn't just people. They was just regular Negroes in the hood. They just all of a sudden decided they were smart. They learned a lot of this stuff from Freemasonry stuff. That's why I put, Frank, the guy that supposed to help lead the Hebrew Israelite stuff. It doesn't mean that the Hebrew stuff not real. I'm just saying that you have people among all these groups that been this way. This is not new that's going on today with all these people. This is something that been going on. What happened is the Europeans did it first. They copied from them and they started using it on us. And then the people in these generations, the modern times, I started using the same thing that they did. So that's why you see the same type of teaching, the same type of concept, the same type of things they doing. They learned this from a Dr. York. They learned this from, you know, people like I can't even say no to but Dr. York, Father Divine, Reverend Ike, all these different people who was coming up with these concepts on how to get rich because it's all on living a luxury by deceiving the people. That's the whole scheme of things. It's the money. Because if you look in the background, you see everybody, all these people lived luxury. They lived great. Dr. York made so much money, he bought land. You know what I'm saying? He made a whole Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like these people driving in fancy cars, clothes. But when you talk to their followers, they was nothing like that.
mhm. Yeah, and you said that correctly, bro. It's always something about some money grab or some type of power. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, what is that? Um, I think it's like in Jeremiah when Jeremiah was warning the people not to go back to Egypt,
Yeah.
and uh, and I think Hananiah he was saying, well, thus says Yahweh, and he was lying. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yep.
And
That's
with
a good
and
point right there.
you know what I'm saying. So yeah, we can say yeah that poison is from the oppressor, but as we see, we can read back to to the scriptures and point out, you know what I'm saying? Because what's going on? Because we do got to understand that if we believe in the scriptures, we say we Israelites,
Mm-hmm.
then we got to understand that the curses show as a sign. You know what I mean? And all the iniquities of our forefathers have been borne on us. And what we're supposed to be doing at these moments is not debating really about all this bullcrap. We're supposed to really be teaching each other the transgression so we can fix ourselves and fix our nation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but we not seeing that. What we're seeing is people we doing the strifeful debates. It's all for power. It's all for clout. You know what I'm saying? It's not really for veteran of the nation is to have a legacy of their own, you know what I mean? And to say, yeah, how is dealing with me? Do you see a lot of people? You see how many people follow me? That's that cult crap. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It stems all the way back to what you said about that money. It's about that money grab. 'Cause the money right now in this captivity is, you know what I'm saying? That's that power right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far,
Yeah.
especially, I don't know. And never mind, I'm gonna keep that to myself. Yeah. Even I'm just gonna
Yeah. I
say,
mean,
even as far as using your platform, if you claim you're a Torah based platform or Israelite, you know what I'm saying, and you using your platform to get money, bro, that's going against Isaiah 55 and 1, bro.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I understand that. Yeah. I mean, that's what I believe as a teacher. Period, man. I think getting money from people. I mean, I don't like it. You know what I mean? That's why I tell people like people. Listen, on my Facebook, I got 11,000 followers. I got pages that got 11,000 followers. I got my TikTok. You know, it ain't. We may got 3, 4,000. You know what I'm saying? My YouTube getting a little better, and I could easily monetize all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like people always telling me, man. People always, man, you got all these followers. You got monetize. I get paid. I said, man, I don't do it for get paid. I work. I don't have to do that. I got a job. You know what I'm saying? I pay my bills. I'm stable right now. And when I won't stable, even when I was homeless in the streets, man, I was doing this stuff. I didn't try to get money because I'm not gonna disrespect the Most High for doing that. That's just how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell nobody else what they should do. You know, I'm not one of the people that try to go and say, oh, this and this and no. You gotta because I gotta worry about myself so much and trying to focus on people that I love. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You can't. The one thing I learned as an older person, you're not gonna change people that don't want to change. You're wasting your time talking to people that don't want to listen. You see what I'm saying? You should focus on people that's in your circle that you can talk to that wants to learn from you because I've seen plenty of times where people are talking to this person, trying to teach this person something. This person not listening, but behind him, this person said, teach me, but he's so focused on the person that's not listening. So when you're focused on people and wasting your time on other people, you have other people that want to hear from you. So you need to focus more on the people who wants to hear it, the people who want to listen. I ain't wasting my time no more on people who want to listen. That's why I don't push it on people. You know what I mean? I don't go if I don't deal with you, I'm not gonna deal with you. If I don't like you, I tell people I don't like that person. I ain't messing with them. You know what I'm saying? People
I
get mad
mean,
why you don't like them. I just don't like them. If I don't, once I don't like you, I don't like you. And I'm not gonna deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna stay away from you. If I don't like being in this group, I'm gonna leave this group. If I don't like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna argue with you, fight with you for what? Half of us ain't even nowhere near each other. Nobody not gonna do nothing. I'm from the street, so it's pointless of arguing with somebody on the internet all day. You're not gonna do you all the way in New York. I'm in Virginia, or you in Florida, and this motherfucking California. You're not gonna do nothing to each other. Who gonna waste their time going all the way across states to do stuff? So there's no use of getting that personal to where to where it get like that. If I don't deal with you, I'm just gonna leave you alone. You know what I'm saying? My
But
focus on my son, my little homies, the people that live in the hood with me, my family members. You know, that's the people I try to teach.
see, if you were right, if we supposed to be righteous people, we that stuff shouldn't even be seen from our from the congregation. You know what I mean? We shouldn't be seeing beefs with the black sector and all of this. If anything, the black sector should be coming to the Israelites. You know what I mean? Like, okay,
All right,
foundation
let
it
me
is.
ask you something. Let me ask you something, right? All right, so you believe every black person is Israelite, right? In
Nah,
America. No, I'm talking about
nah,
America. All
nah.
right. Okay. All right. So the people that you do, I who so who do you believe as Israelites in America? That's far. Do you believe the American Negro that came uh that's came from generation of slavery? That's the Israelite. I mean, I
Well,
don't want you to go deep. I don't want you to deep into it. 'Cause
no,
this is not
honestly,
really what
no. To be totally honest with you, we in a generation right now, bro, where we got great grandmas and grandmas and great granddads and granddads at least. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
we should at least be able to trace our great grandfather and what they was.
Okay.
That's
Well, I don't want
that's
to
it.
go. I don't want to go deeper than. Yeah, I don't want to go
And,
deeper than that because I won't really trying to get into that. My thing was this, right? The people we think because I'm going off what you had asked, so of how that we supposed to be righteous, right? But I tell people this all the time. In that book in the Bible, who was the most wickedest people in the Bible most of the time?
hold on, you said say it again.
In the Bible, who was the most wickedest group of people in the Bible most of the time?
The Israelites.
So thank you. See what I'm saying? So it was a point that mostly, I mean, so we shouldn't be surprised that these
That's
people
how
are
you can
acting
tell who
like
the
they
Israelites
acting
are.
because these people ain't no. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So these people, I'm not surprised when these people act like this. I'm not surprised because we always had wicked people like this amongst our people. We always have the stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing we can do, but you know what I mean. It's the Most High going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying I don't. I look at
No,
these people and don't know how they surviving, don't know how they thriving, but you know they are.
yeah, but hey, no, what you just said, that's I usually when I take that approach, the approach that you just took, you know what I'm saying, a person try to backfire with the you know what I'm saying, where you don't know that and that, you know what I'm saying, but that's honest. You can literally as you read the scriptures and you look at the people what they're doing. I mean, there's literally incidents. All you got to do is watch and read the scriptures and watch the internet for Israelites, and you can tell they are the Israelites. You can tell you did almost. I because I don't want to get too
Yeah,
deep, but you almost can tell down to the bloodline, especially the wicked ones.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking
I
about all
agree.
the way down from actions. There's a brother from IUIC, his name Hananiah. One day I was just straight streaming down, what's the name? And I look, and boom, he in Jeremiah. I'm like, son of a b, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
I personally believe all I gotta do is look at these people and like, okay, well, I know y'all the Israelites, so these are the people that I gotta be at, but these are the same people that you can't tell them nothing, bro. They gonna
yeah.
treat you, they gonna treat you like you a nigga on the streets.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly the, you know what I mean. That's exactly, you know. I've seen it, man. I've been in this job a
Because
long
they in the
time, man. When
cult.
I first came in, the who? Yeah, I mean that's what I said because I like your passion, man, and I hope a lot of the generations come, you know, as passionate as you is, man. Because you know, I've been dealing with you for a while, so I like your passion. I like what Carl, you know, I like y'all make me feel like there's hope in the generations to come. You see what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a hard time, man, when our generations leave because we ain't teaching this new generation stuff, man. They're gonna be so lost. I mean, and it's so crazy because I talk to my son and he teaches me a lot of the way they think. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, and he understand. He said, "Man, we ain't been taught nothing. The school ain't teaching nothing. We want to blame the schools for not teaching our children nothing, but we ain't teaching them nothing. Because I don't blame the school for not teaching my son history. Because I'm teaching my son history, and he gonna know more than that school ever taught him. I teach my son the Bible. My son right now, he be asking me all type of questions. How do you know God is this and that? He want to know. Me and my friends be talking. I have young dudes call. I had one dude call me up. He was like with three other people, man. He was like, man, teach these people about the Bible. And I said, look, I'm not gonna teach you nothing. I'm gonna answer questions you had to ask. We could build. You have questions. I said, but I want y'all to read yourself. I don't want you to come to me and hang on my every word because I'm a human. I don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to act like I do know everything. But all I do is share my information that I see, and that's all I can do. I don't act like I know more than anybody else. I mean, I can get down with debating. I can show my intelligence. I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I really ain't into. I used to be into that back in the day, but now I'm more like I got a job I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I got something that he set in place for me, and I gotta do it. That's is my individual thing that I feel like it was set for me. I'm not saying God talked to me and told me to do it, but if you understand, you understand. You know what I'm saying? If you understand, you can see paths, you can see things that was setting forth for you.
But that's a big con, bro.
Yeah, because I hear, yeah, you're right. Hanaya, yeah, Cain is up to you to teach your children. Yeah, I tell people all of that because I heard somebody was arguing about Trump taking the history away, and this and that for our kids. Not, but your kids don't know nothing. Whose fault is that? It's on you. It's your fault if your kid don't know nothing. You see what I'm saying? My son 21 right now. He's still trying to learn. He's still teaching because he loves me. You know what I mean? My son, man, I can lead my son the wrong way or the right way. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to lead him the right way, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm trying to teach him, and I push a history on him. I just took him to the slave trail. I got a video of me taking him to the slave trail where the slaves walked in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking with him. I'm talking to him. I'm asking him questions. What is this? What is that? I'm letting him hear about it. I go to all the historical sites. I went to the Maggie Walker Bank. I went to all the slave trails. I went to Jamestown, Yorktown. I go around and I tell people all the time, do that. Go around your historical sites. I want to see where y'all from. I want to see some of the history y'all got. You know what I'm saying? I love history. I love what our people have done because you ain't going your present not gonna survive or your future not gonna survive. You don't understand your past. You don't understand what you've been through, and what your people been through. You're not going to survive because this stuff is coming back. I mean, a lot of this stuff coming back. At first I was like, oh, I see a lot of stuff that uh, I see a lot of stuff they pushing. I mean, they damn near took the history away from you. Your kids don't know that. I don't know if you know, but if your kids going to school, he ain't learning nothing. Like you thought they ain't teach us nothing. Them niggas don't know nothing. I'm just being for real. Like they don't know no history. You know what I'm saying? Most of them not going to church. I mean, even though I talk about church, it's still a blueprint of me. It's still a blueprint. It's still something that, like I tell people, I didn't meet God in church though, but it's something that I think I needed when I was a kid. I met God outside church when I started studying myself, but I think it's still a blueprint of spirituality because if you ain't did nothing, at least my mama made me go to church, and I seen it, and I understand. I had to read the Bible. I did these things to where I got older. It was something that was attached to me. But when you got somebody who never went to church, who never read the Bible all their life, they're not going to look at it. They're not going to look at it the same way you think they're going to look at it. It doesn't. It's not going to have that same effect. So I think a lot of that stuff does matter. You know what I mean? Unless you're gonna start them off what you know now, and not take them to church school and just teach them and set them down to teach them. You know what I mean? But you got to be willing to do that, and you got to be willing to let them ask questions and don't push nothing on them. You know what I mean? Because this generation, they not gonna learn from you. They gonna learn online, and they gonna learn from these cult leaders. They gonna learn from these people that don't know nothing and teaching bull, and they gonna learn that stuff from them. You see what I'm saying? And most of them gonna go. They not even going. Matter of fact, they not even go to these cult leaders. They going to rappers. They going to that's their leaders. You see what I'm
Con,
saying? Like if you ask a youngin about Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, nobody they ain't gonna know nothing. But if I say something about Little Dirt, they know his whole life. They know who his baby mama is. How many times he been locked up. They know this and that about him. You know what I mean? So that's when it become dangerous. Like because if you don't know, if you, I mean, and then, what's really scary? It's black people out here that's telling you that you shouldn't care about your history. And that's the scariest thing that I see. It's black people. I'm gonna name one person, Chief X, right? When I heard him talking, he talks from a because I think the biggest mistake our people have became as politicians, man. When people start saying I'm a liberal, and I'm a this and this and that, I think that's the worstest thing because it's like you split yourself up into politics, man, and now it's like you from an area you might ain't go through the same stuff I've been through, but now you trying to tell me how I should think. You trying to tell me that I ain't never been impressed because you haven't. No, you haven't been impressed, but I've seen it. I've seen police handcuff us because we were black in the hood. I've seen racists try to shoot my brother and shoot me because they the KKK member. We've had letters from the KKK members saying they was coming out in the hood and we was getting ready for them. So I've seen this stuff. This ain't nothing that I learned from my mother and generations ago, and we just reading history. I've seen this stuff. I've been through it. You know what I'm saying? So they don't know what they're talking. When they talking that stuff, they don't know what they're talking about. Anybody that's telling you that should have long why they don't tell no other race that not to worry about their history. I mean, just think about it. They don't tell nobody else that. They still celebrating holidays and stuff now from shit that happened back in the day. You see what I'm saying?
come on.
So they don't want you to know that. You know why they don't want you to know about their history? Because I told people before, and this was somebody said in Virginia, and it made sense. Because these kids, when they go into them classrooms and they had to teach them the history of what happened to us, they're going to see their grandparents, they're going to see their great grandma, they're going to see their great aunt, they might see their mama. You see what I'm saying? They gonna see pictures. They gonna see pictures of their mama throwing stuff and spitting on these people because they wanted to go to school, or beating up these people because they tried to go into they eating the same restaurant as them. They don't want to see that. So what they did is they took it out, and and that is just a terrible thing.
Hey, the worst thing that you could do to these people is teach your children. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And like personally, I okay, so my mom was she was a pastor, you know what I mean? So it's needless to say, with me being in church, you know what I'm saying, I was kind of hip and more hip to the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? Now that don't mean I wasn't in the streets and stuff like that, but I knew even while I was in the streets, I knew how to it was like I knew how to move more I knew how to move more witty than other people. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew how to
yeah,
either control certain situations or anger, just knowing certain scriptures. But with me being not a, what they call a spiritual person or whatever, I just was like, whatever, it's a good book or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just like, what is that book? The 50 laws of power or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
coming into the Israelite community though with a clean slate in as oh wow. So this was the reason why I was so attracted to this book because it got my ancestors in there. You know what I mean? It has prophecies and stuff in it, right? So I had to come with a whole nother mind frame. But one thing that did stick to me always was reading for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My mother and my stepdad, they wouldn't like they would be teaching it in church, but by the time they already went to church, I already heard the lesson and I had to go give my own breakdown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, bro, it's like coming into the Israelite community, I see that one thing that stuck with me was reading for myself. My mama taught
Hmm.
me that. And with her
Yeah.
teaching me that, I teach that to my children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we might go over scripture, but my children they gonna read for themselves. My family they gonna read for themselves, and that's why I try to tell people, you know what I'm saying, read for yourself, because then you're teaching yourself and your family as well, the ones that are around you. And this is a thing when you it's not even an experiment, but when you have people that on the same page, like, no, I'm not listening, no man. I'm reading this book says this. I'm reading it the chapter from the verse to the verse, you know what I mean? And you ain't study with it, I ain't study with you, you ain't study with me, and we meet and we come to the same conclusion. Well, we know, well, this is the solution. Studying for ourselves and teaching our children what we learn. And then knowing that our children will increase that knowledge as time go on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now we getting into, if you don't teach your children, you must hate them, right?
Hmm.
Because you must got some type of fear that they're gonna take your knowledge and increase it, or take your knowledge and find something that was wrong and can fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's like a Saw mentality, even though Dewar wasn't his son, is still that type of mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So teaching your children, and then guess what? That keeps them out of the cult mentality and more into a family and self based reality. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
They're not basing themselves off feelings and what the majority say, or what everybody else gonna say. They're going to base upon the premises of what's being presented and what should be. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, like I said, when I teach my son, because it took a while, because when he come around me, because I was one of them fathers. I didn't play around. You know what I mean? I didn't beat him a lot, none of that, but just my presence. He understood. I'm an alpha, so he understood that when he come around. See, when he come around me, he used to be, scared to say anything. So I have to. I ain't even say scared, but it's like, um, challenging your father. You feel like, and I had to let him know, like, look, man, you becoming a young man. This is when you're a teenager. Tell me whatever you want to talk about. Don't be scared of me. Don't be scared to talk to me. When he got grown, I told him, you're grown. You know what I'm saying? You have your own man. If you don't like something I say, you don't like something I do, to talk to me. It's a difference between disrespectful to me, though. You know what I mean? He ain't never been different. He ain't never cussed at me. He never did none of that. But I don't want him to feel like I'm a type of cult leader to where you can't chime, you can't tell me that, oh, I don't think that's right, or I felt something you told me that was right, that was wrong. No, because I'm still learning. I'm gonna learn until I die. And that's just how I look at it. I'm never going to be one of my sayings is this: if you think you know everything, you know nothing, right? You know nothing. Even science tells you, even history tells you, even these scholars, anything you go to, they tell you they cannot make it just a straight fact, because they might find something new. They might find something, so they always updating. You should be always updating. You see what I'm saying? You should not be selfish. When you're teaching your kids, when you're teaching anybody, you cannot be selfish. You cannot think that just because somebody's saying, "Hey, man, what you said I think was wrong," and I got this information, and it's kind of like saying that what you saying is wrong. That what you should do is sit back and take that information and say, "Well, maybe I was wrong. Let me see what it says." But when you get to a point, no, I'm not wrong. I know what I'm talking about. You just a young person, and that's what a lot of things we do to the youth too. We make it similar because I'm older. That I just know everything. Older does not mean you know everything more than me. Older means you have certain experiences in life that you might can give to me, but it does not mean you know everything. You know what I mean? So, because I was always taught to respect elders, but I say elder doesn't mean you older than me. See, that's what people. I don't care if you 7 years old. That don't make you my elder. My elders are people who taught me. My elders are the people who gave me wisdom. My great uncle. You know what I'm saying? Don't just think because you older than me, I supposed to just respect you as an elder and you could talk any type of way or you could say or just teach and I gotta listen to you. No, I'm not gonna disrespect you if you don't disrespect me. But what I'm saying is if we talking about if we talking about fixing a car, right? You ain't never fix a car just because you 7 years old. That don't mean you know more than the car than me. You might ain't never touch the car. I mean, you just now if you've been a mechanic for 50 years, yeah, I'm gonna sit back and listen to you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's a difference. So people think it's because I'm older and you're younger that I know everything. No, I don't know everything. And my son might find some stuff I don't know, and he can come to me and teach me some stuff, and I might learn from him. And that's how a teacher. That's how a teacher. Our teacher is the best. That's my second thing. Our teacher is the best student. I'm always learning. I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to update. That's the main thing. Willing to update.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I also see it as maybe a lot of our people in the black community, quote unquote, maybe our parents didn't teach us anything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not talking about like taught them bad stuff. I'm talking about sat down and taught them reasoning, taught them, you know what I'm saying, how to cognitively break down a scenario in a paragraph, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
just things like that. Maybe that might be a problem in our community, you know what I mean? And once again, we dealing with the odds and the evens with or not once again, because I never said this, but we're dealing with odds and evens. You know what I'm saying? We're dealing with what our people know and what they don't know.
Yeah.
And they're going to go on what they know. And the things that they don't know, they're gonna say, no, you're that's wrong, or they're gonna push back from it. You know what I'm saying? But we gotta realize that, but people need to realize that we have one chance and one chance only, right? Stop trying to make it seem like if you get this wrong, you'll have another chance.
Yeah.
This is it's an important thing. You don't follow a man just because he's your friend and he sounds good. It sounds good. You don't do
Yeah.
that. You if the brother if you know what I'm saying you learn it from him, well learn from him, but you go and read it for yourself. There's nothing wrong with proofreading from some, you know what I'm saying, and going back for yourself and seeing if it's correct. You know what I mean? But I think once again, I think that our people just are they go on what they know, and that's only because that's what they've been taught in the Israelite community. Like we know, like for instance, when you become Israelite, they tell you, oh, you black, so you with this. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
separate you out, then they give you this, they give you a Sabbath, they give you a name, they give you how you gonna get into heaven, and that's your starter pack. And from there you're supposed to be reading for yourself and navigating, growing yourself and saying, wait a minute, no, something wrong with this. And then but you know what I'm saying, and you're a witness to it, you know what I'm saying, so you know how this might go once you read for yourself and you start to say, wait a minute, this is not what you taught me.
Yeah.
You leader of this group, and this not what you taught me. Well, not a group. I wasn't in no group in that. You know what I'm saying? I know camper that, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
You taught me this. Y'all, everybody keeps saying this, and this is wrong because we haven't been taught how to dissect that. A lot of people just stay there and say, no, they got to be right.
Yeah.
They got to be right because everybody's saying this.
Yeah. I mean, I agree.
That's lack of being taught, bro. That's lack of being able to discern stuff for yourself. When you lead on people, you basically are in the cult, bro. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why that I just keep going back to that, bro. When like you know what I'm saying? When you follow a man, you in a cult. When you listen to people and you cannot break the spell of them saying stuff or like this dude literally acting like a nigga from the streets and he say he holding the Bible. You don't see that this is wrong and everybody else that's following him, they all in the same code. It's called wickedness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, man. It's just yeah. It's just that's why I said there's a lot of this going on, man. And the thing is becoming bigger because there's a clout behind it, there's followers behind it now. So there's more and more people thinking I have to go this way. It's just like the rap game. Anything else that happened, we was at a time rapping about real music, real stuff that was going on in the hood until this music came in, and it just so happened to make more money. But it was something that it was destroying the community, and everybody felt like, oh, I have to go do this now because I got to make the money. So a lot of these people are doing it based off the money first. So a lot of people has taken teaching and trying to teach people real things as far as a job now. People are not doing it for based off of morality, really trying to wake people up, bringing them to the most high. It's more like I'm t- I got a job now. I can get on this TikTok, I can get on this thing, and I can get paid now, and I don't have to go work. And then once money starts flowing in, guess what? You might have jumped up on it at first to teach real stuff, but now when money gets involved, and let's say you teaching this real stuff, but you ain't getting the views you want. So now you got to start teaching what? You got to start teaching stuff to make you profit. You're not teaching off your morals. You're not teaching off what you really believe. You're teaching off the stuff that you know can bring views and money. So this is what happens when money gets involved. To me, when you start teaching, because now you're not teaching from an aspect of waking people up and really trying to teach you. You're teaching off to get paid because you might have quit this job because you're getting so much money from this TikTok or Facebook or YouTube, to where you like, now I don't need no job. I can make money off this. So now you're gonna start doing whatever you have to do and teach whatever you have to teach to keep this money flowing.
hey, and this is why it becomes on your hands. What you know what I'm saying? They blood becomes on that person's hands because now they dealing with the placebo effect because you sitting there, they taking their money, you know what I'm saying? You come out with the doctrine, they they listen, they taking the money, and they in their head they thinking this doctrine is working.
Yeah.
This is working. You know what I mean? It's a placebo effect.
Yeah.
That's all I had. I just wanted to chime in on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad you came up though. You know what I mean? I know this topic is real sensitive to a lot of people, man. I'm not because, and that's why I didn't make it to where I'm just bashing certain people. I just, put the information in front Because if you is a part of that stuff, man, I just want you to see what the symptoms is, and maybe it can help you get out of it. You know what I mean? Because I don't. A lot of people don't know they in these cults. A lot of people don't know they have a cult leader. And if you do, I just hope you wake up to it because it's before it's too late. Because it's still around. This is not an old thing. This is not something that just because they locked Nature Boy up is gone. It's many people like Nature Boy that might ain't just come out the blue yet. He might ain't get as popular yet. It's a lot of these people around. So we got to be careful because this community, man, our communities are, and it's already been in danger for the longest time. But it's the stuff I see that's coming ahead. I just, man, I mean, just from the music, from the way people. I mean, it's women out here accepting. They are accepting that they're a whore now. There's women out here that saying, there's like normal women are saying, "Okay, I'm a hoe." I accept in there. It's you know what I'm saying. There's guys out here that say, "I'm a killer." Yeah, I kill people. I mean, it's becoming that the wickedness is becoming normal to where it's accepted in the society now. That people's not even looking at it as a bad thing. You know what I mean? At least we had some type of dignity when somebody did something. You was like, "Oh man, that's messed up." It's like now, it's like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't know that nigga." Or, you know what I mean? Or they laughing at it, and I mean, it's the stuff I see, man. Like when I see people get killed and stuff, read the posters, people laughing, and that way he getting, we smoking, you know what I mean? It's I see people. I don't see people. I don't see people piss on a person grave. I mean, it's man, the stuff I see. I'm like this shit is getting dangerous. Like it's getting to an era like I fear for my son. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to teach so much and get him to understand, man. Don't even put your foot close to that line because it's not worth it. And that's why when I grew up with him, I mean, when he grew up with me, I let him see. I let him see when I was homeless. I let him see when I was succeed. I let him see everything I've been through in life. I used to tell him, man, if you don't want to be homeless like I was, you got to finish school. You got to work. You know what I'm saying? You cannot be in these streets. When he got in trouble one time, right? It was for a teacher. It was like a little boy. They ain't press charges, but he had to go to the jail, turn himself in. He went in there. They patted him down and everything. And he was looking at us. I said, I can't go back there with you. And he went up there. He went out. He went in there for like 30 minutes. He seen all them big guys. He said all these grown men, muscles big. He seen them sales. And he didn't even make it to the sales then. But you know what I mean. He got out. He said, "Man, I ain't never going back in there." I said, "I told you. Like, I'm just glad you seen that." Because you know what I'm saying. I didn't learn from that because either jail will either help you stay straight or it's gonna make you be comfortable to where you keep going. I was a person that got comfortable when I went to jail at my first time going to jail was 15 juvenile life. I was facing juvenile life. You know what I'm saying, and after I went to that jail, I would, you had a little fear of what this happened. When you went in there, you see, though, I can handle myself in there. It ain't like that. It made me more of a criminal because I'm like, shit, I can keep going in there. Jail ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? I knew how to survive, but it got to a point where I got tired of it. You know what I mean? I got locked up like 17 times in 1 month before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got tired of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a background to where my people look up to me because they seen where I was at. They surprised I'm alive. They surprised I'm thriving. They surprised I'm working. I'm out of trouble. You know what I mean. So a lot of people say I aspire them, and that's why I want. I said that's great because if I aspire you in the streets, I want to aspire you in real life. I want to let you know that that shit we was doing was stupid. It shit don't mean nothing. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't mean nothing. Like all that stuff I did in the street ain't help me do nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just to the point where we gotta teach the youth don't understand the consequences, what I'm trying to say. And it's sad because a lot of they don't have a lot of time to be like, okay, I went to jail. I don't like this. I need to go out. It's now to the point where their first charges they getting is getting murder charges. They getting killing is killing, and now they going to jail for 20 years, 30 years. And now they in there like, oh man, I shouldn't have did this, and it's too late. They ain't get to have that time where I had where I'm getting in a little trouble here and there, and I'm seeing what's going on. It's like a lot of these young niggas not even their first time, not even little charges. They getting these big charges and going away. And they sending these little kids, 14, 15, 16, so they sending them to prison. They sending them with the big guys. They sending them, you know what I mean? These guys ain't going. These little dudes that catching these murders, they not going to no juvenile. They going to real men prisons. So this the stuff I'm trying to help prevent, but it's so hard because this new music, this new society, the way people think. I think social media has got us so immune to violence and stuff now that you know we can see a person get killed on the phone. It's like it's normal now. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, you see that video of the guy got killed. It's like it's normal. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, I
Welcome to
don't know.
paradise.
Yep.
Yeah, bro. That's yeah. You on point with that though. I just wanted to chime in on that because I ain't gonna lie, that's been on my a lot of stuff that I heard have been on my mind. I'm gonna go back and double down and listen. You know what I'm saying to the rest of it. Thanks for
Oh,
having me
okay.
on.
Yeah. All right. That's what's up. Yeah. You wanna say anything before we go?
No,
Eric?
no, that's it. Hey, I do got something to say. Stop
Yeah.
following man, y'all. Straight up, bro. Keep your Yahweh on your mind. Y'all sitting around here waiting for a man to give y'all the answers when it's right there in the book. Not only it's in the book, it's in your mind. You gotta search for the Most High yourself. Search for the deliverance of your people getting up out this land. Don't forget, we are not promised to stay here. Y'all worried about the world ending. We should be worried about our deliverance. You know what I'm saying? Read Hosea, read Zephaniah, read these chapters, read them chapters as showing our deliverance. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. I pray the Most High bless y'all, keep y'all in perfect peace. Hey, smash an idol, Shalom.
Are you still here, Kareem? All right. So my elder, I'm about to just say, peace. Let me see, turn y'all. Yep, turn y'all. You're right. I was just gonna say peace. Rang. Go back to the presentation. It's a good presentation I put out. Um, I'm gonna bring some more stuff on here. I'm trying to build with people. Hit me up. Like I said, Eric Trueheart Facebook. Eric the Mad Scientist YouTube. Eric the Mad Scientist TikTok. Trueheart 30 Instagram. You know, I love building with people. I love spreading information. Even doing community work. I love doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Just to help out. So peace. Yeah. Still around, Kareem? Let's see. Oh man, how many people get on here? Piece of Smash, piece of Hanaya, Digital Black Man. Everybody that came to join. Salaya, Benyal, even Apollo B. Peace to y'all. Let's see. Let's see some comments. And oh shoot. Granted, some of these things were out of their control, but at times they could have made a better decision. They didn't. I agree. How people be acting like they don't know how to reject wickedness. Okay. Let me call. Let me stay on this. Uh-oh. How people. Yeah, well, thanks to Smash Out for coming on. Anybody else got anything to say? I'm waiting. I forgot to say, make sure to stay cool if you're in the Midwest area. I don't know what's going on with the weather, but y'all stay cool. What's the temperature in the Midwest? Yeah, I know like in Texas they had a flood. I ain't really been looking into it. But I heard a whole lot of people. Last time I looked at it, was like 100 people there. Right now it's straight, but the next few days is revised to be a heat wave. It's supposed to be a heat wave. Oh, okay. Yeah, we get a lot of stuff coming from the Midwest down here too. So if there's one up there, it might be coming to where I'm at. Well, like I say, y'all just rewind back, watch the show presentation. I'm about to leave. I got to work in the morning, so I got to head out. Um, Hopefully come back on real quick and end it. But peace out. You know, you can rewind. It's a good presentation I put out here. We'll be back soon with some more information.